Long ago, before there were towns or cars or lights, the world was quiet and dark at night. People lived in small groups. They lived under the great trees, near rivers and lakes. The sun was their light in the day, and the moon in the night. When the sun went down, the world became dark and cold. People held each other and wished for warmth. There were two children in one group. The boy's name was Tama. The girl's name was Naya. Tama and Naya were friends. Every day, they played near the river and watched the fish swim. They looked for fruit and nuts. They sometimes saw big animals. At night, they sat by their mothers and fathers. They listened to stories about animals, trees, and the sky. Each night was cold. The cold wind came from the river. The stars shone, and they wished for something warm. "How nice a warm light would be," said Naya. "How nice to see in the night," said Tama. "Maybe one day, we can be warm at night." One evening, Tama and Naya saw a storm in the sky. The clouds were black. Suddenly, a big light came down. It hit a tree with a loud crack. The tree started to burn. There was orange and yellow light. The fire was bright and hot. It danced up and up. People were afraid. "What is this?" they said. They ran to look at the tree. The fire moved and made strange sounds. It was the first fire people saw. The group kept back. Some people wanted to run away. Naya said, "Let's look close." Tama nodded. They came close, and they felt the hot air. The fire made them warm. Their cold fingers warmed up. Soon, it started to rain. The rain came down, and the fire got small. It hissed and sizzled and then went out. The tree was black and smelled strange. The people did not know what to do. The next night was cold again. Many days passed. Some people forgot about the fire, but Tama and Naya remembered. They liked the light and the warmth. They wanted to have fire again. "How did fire come?" asked Naya. "It came from the sky," said Tama. "Can we make fire?" asked Naya. Tama did not know. "We can try," he said. Tama and Naya tried many things. They hit two stones together. But nothing happened. Then they took sticks and rubbed them together. It was hard work. Their hands hurt. But one day, when they rubbed a dry stick very fast on another stick, they saw a little smoke. "Look, look. Smoke!" cried Naya. The smoke came up, gray and thin. Tama blew on the smoke. Suddenly, a tiny orange light showed. It was a very small fire. It danced and then grew bigger. Tama and Naya shouted, "Fire! We made fire!" The people came running. Everyone wanted to see. The fire gave warm light. The children put dry leaves on the fire. The fire grew and crackled. People clapped. They sat close to the fire. The night was not so dark and cold. The next day, the people made a big round of stones to keep the fire safe. They fed the fire with sticks. When the fire made bright orange and yellow tails, people's faces glowed. Now, the group had fire every night. With fire came the first smoke. The smoke went up into the sky. It made long white lines in the air. Sometimes it smelled good, sometimes it did not. Some people coughed. Some people watched the smoke and saw shapes, animals, birds, even faces. Tama liked to watch the smoke dance in the sky. Now, the group could do many new things. They could cook food in the fire. First, they put fish on the hot stones. The fish smelled good. The meat became soft. People liked the taste. Before fire, they could only eat cold food. Now, they could eat warm food. The mothers put nuts in the fire. The nuts popped and tasted sweet. People could see at night. The fire gave light. Old men and women told stories by the fire every night. Naya and Tama loved to listen. They learned about the moon and stars and how animals live in the dark. The children made shadows on the cave wall, playing with the fire's light. Fire kept wild animals away. Before, people were scared of big cats and wolves at night. But animals were afraid of fire. Now, the group slept well. They were not so scared. Tama and Naya learned to make fire many ways. Sometimes, two stones made sparks. Sometimes, two dry sticks made smoke and fire. They showed the younger children how to do it. All the children were proud. One day, Tama went to the hills and found a shiny orange stone. When he hit the orange stone on a gray rock, he saw white sparks. He ran to Naya. "Look. Sparks." They tried to catch the sparks on dry grass. The grass caught fire, little and quick. The fire danced up. Soon the group had a better way to make fire. The group became happy. Every night, people sat together by the red fire. Smoke went up into the dark sky. People sang songs and made music with sticks and stones. Naya danced around the fire. Tama told jokes. The children laughed. One day, a traveler came from another group. She saw the fire and was amazed. She said, "May I sit with you?" They let her warm her hands at the fire. She watched Tama make more fire with stones. The traveler said, "My people must learn this. Your group will be remembered, for you brought fire and smoke to our world." Tama and Naya smiled. They were proud. The traveler stayed a few days. She learned, and then left to tell her people how to make fire and how to watch the smoke. After that, more groups learned about fire. Soon, families all over the land made fire at night. Smoke rose from their camps. Children learned to sing, dance, and tell stories by the firelight. But not all was easy. Sometimes, the fire grew too big. Once, a fire jumped from the ring of stones. It burned the grass. People shouted and worked together, putting water and sand on it until it stopped. The people learned to be careful. "The fire gives us life, but it can be dangerous," said Naya's father. "Always keep fire small and safe." From that day, people made fire circles with many stones. They watched the fire always. When they left, they put sand and water on the fire. If the wind blew, smoke told the people where fire was. One day, the rain came and put out the fire. People were sad. It was cold and dark. Tama and Naya tried their orange stones again and again. Finally, they made fire. The people cheered. Everyone wanted to keep the fire burning, so they never had to lose it again. Older people said, "Fire is a gift, and smoke is the song fire sings." They watched the smoke rise to the stars and said, "Thank you." As time went on, the world changed. But people always remembered Tama and Naya and their first fire. They told stories about the children who were curious and brave, who did not give up, and who shared fire with everyone. Naya said, "It is good to share fire, and to share what we know." Tama said, "Yes. Now we are warm, we have light, and we are not scared of the night." At every fire, children made smoke pictures in the sky. People laughed together. The darkness was not so big anymore. And that is the story of the first fire and the first smoke. Fire gave warmth, light, cooked food, and safety. Smoke reminded people of the gift of the fire. When you see smoke, think of Tama and Naya, of the night, of the first people and their courage. And always remember, with curiosity, patience, and kindness, you too can find something new for everyone. Thank you for listening to my story. Good night, and may you dream of warm fire and gentle smoke.